All right. So we're gonna be playing TA. So one of the biggest problems that I see right off the bat in your lineup is that you have a Templar Assassin and an Anti-Mage. Now the problem that arises when you've got a hero like an Anti-Mage in your team is your mid laner desperately needs to be somebody who needs to be independent. Number one, and number two, needs to create some space for Anti-Mage. Now TA,
Hmm.
although TA is independent to a great degree, depends on the matchup really, but you are not at all a space creator. Like you can be, but that requires such high skill. Like even I don't think I would be able to pull that off in my games, right? Probably I'll be able to do it in your game, but that means like you have to be like 3 or 4K higher or 5K. What is that? Yeah, 5K almost higher, 4K. Then
Yeah.
you're then the rest of your teammates, and it's just not possible. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to create space for anti-mates to farm. By creating space, I mean go to different lanes and gang people, and
Yeah, I
create
know.
space that
I
way,
know. I know.
or push towers and whatnot. You need to farm yourself. So when you have two people who need farm, especially in the early at the same time, two people who need farm at the same time, both you and anti-mage need farm for, well, anti-mage needs farm for 25 minutes, whereas TA only needs farm for like 15 minutes. But it's the first 15 minutes of the game which now completely relies on other three of your teammates. Now
Yeah.
the big problem that you have is you have a Nature's Prophet, another hero that needs farm. That doesn't necessarily needs farm, but he's gonna take farm, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
looking at your lineup, you guys are gonna be starved for farm, which would be okay if it's the same case for the enemy team, but it's not. You've got a Jakiro in mid who is great at making space. Not a conventional mid hero, but he's gonna make a lot of space by pushing the hell out of this lane, pushing this tower
Yeah.
heavily, and if you don't know how to lane against a Jakiro, which I wouldn't expect you to, because who the hell plays mid Jakiro,
Yeah.
right? So,
Well, he's a natural counter to me because of
no,
his
he's
E.
not. No, he's not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I completely disagree. Anybody who says
Oh.
Jakiro is a counter to TA doesn't know what they're talking
Ye-
about, because Jakiro's got liquid fire. It's a 20-second cooldown spell, right? That means that every single creep wave he's going to have it once. That means that
Oh.
if you, obviously he's going to trigger it on you, right? So there's
Yeah.
two things that you can do. What first thing that you can do is level one doesn't really bother you too much, because level one you have side blades anyway. So it's really when you have refraction that he burns through refraction and then you cry. But
Hmm.
first thing is that you position yourself in such a way that he needs to use it, right? He's either going to use it on you
Yeah. I
or
see. I
he's
see.
going to use it on the creeps, right? Especially in your bracket. So if you just stay back, and as soon as he uses it on the creeps, you just go forward and you start doing side blades and you start denying things and whatever. Even if he
Hmm.
uses it on you on level one, it's no damage. It's nothing. It's useless, and it's no. You don't have refraction, so you don't really care taking that little bit of damage. It's fine.
All
Level
right.
two, you don't take refraction. You actually take melt when he throws what is it called, liquid fire on you. You just melt and you dodge it. Okay.
Oh, it can be disjointable.
Yeah,
Uh, Yeah, I don't
you
know.
just used 50 mana to 50 mana per creep wave. So Jakiro does not have the right click damage to interrupt
Yeah,
your
he
farm,
doesn't. Yeah.
right? So as far as most of the time you get refraction to get better last hits. You can still keep refraction, but you keep in mind that instead of just using 100 mana, you're going to use 150 mana. So it's a lot of mana. So maybe you don't even want to get refraction, but sometimes you'll get a really nice meld. If you can meld strike into a side blade attack on Jakiro, it's going to hurt him so much. It's going to be so amazing.
Yeah.
So you can definitely play very much around Jakiro. Look at
Uh,
that. You're already denying things. He's got liquid fire. He's not even throwing it on you. He's he's so bad.
he's
So
waiting for reflection or something, I guess.
yeah, I don't know what the hell he's waiting for. Like, it's a free spell. Just use it, dude. What the hell? So, and one thing I have to complain about is like you haven't managed to get a single side blade attack on him. You're not even trying to do that. So one thing
Um,
that you,
like, I was like, what the fuck? Why I'm playing against the Jaguar? Like, I won't have reflections. Like, that's what my
yeah,
thought
if you're
process.
not gonna have refractions, then don't pick refraction. If you know you're not gonna have refraction, like I don't really know how many attacks how many instances of damage it does. Is it every half second, every second, every tenth of a second?
I'm not
I don't
sure as
know.
well. I didn't even know it's disjointable.
But it
So,
takes your refraction
honestly.
off. But it's going to take your entire refraction off. Point is, there's no point um, using refraction unless he's already used his liquid fire. As soon as he uses liquid fire, you can pop refraction, right? So he's just used it. Why am I looking at? He's just used it, and let's see. It's every. Oh, it looks like quite every like zero point 0.2 seconds or so. But like right now, you have about 15 seconds without liquid fire. There you go. Now you pop refraction. I don't think you need
Yeah.
refraction in this lane at all anyway against a Jakiro. Like there's
You're
no
right.
point. You already have a higher damage. You should be focusing on denying. In fact, in this lane, I would go a very weird sort of a skill build. I would actually put 2 points in Psy Blades and 1 point in Meld, and then obviously max refraction. This is not that crazy a build, but you know, it's definitely
It
not
can
a
be okay, actually.
yeah, it's not a crazy build, but it's definitely unconventional.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, like look at that. You tried to, but you didn't get it off, so it's fine. But yeah, if you dodge that, you take no damage. You've taken so much damage so far. Look at that. That's nice. That's very nice.
Yeah,
Eat a
that's
tree.
usually what I do, but this was like I was sleepy when I was playing this. And I like
See, right here.
even though I give Jakira experience, like what is gonna do? Like I didn't know like
I
he could have
mean,
like
this
pushed
is a
his tower so
this
easily.
is a big mistake because you see CM and
Yeah,
you
it
pop
could.
refraction
I
immediately. CM can take your refraction off immediately as well at almost
yeah
the same
yeah
situation, like almost for free. Now, Liquid Fire, although is not a great counter, but Jakiro as a whole is a counter because he's constantly trying to push your tower, right? So
yeah
as I said, like you definitely have to play around that fact. Like you see him casting Liquid Fire. Oh, sorry, you see him casting that Dual Breath. Just go back, move back immediately. So another thing that you can do, I like the fact that you did put 2 points in sidelines. Too early. You're going here too early. You
yeah.
know the
I know
damage.
that yeah.
You know the
Uh,
damage output of this guy. It's very steady, slow and steady. He doesn't have a kill potential on you, to be honest, if you're playing smart. So just eat a tango and keep
but
keep
they
yeah.
had Ricky. That's like I didn't have ward. I bought
Yeah.
myself a ward
So
after, but
so
like
so one way that Jakiro definitely wins the lane is if he has a sentry. So what I was about to say at the beginning of the game was if you buy a sentry or if you have a
I
sentry, then
will.
you shouldn't be able to lose the game to Jakiro because you can counter Jakiro by having meld, and then Jakiro can counter that by having a sentry in mid. So you have to counter that by having your own sentry in mid. You know.
Yeah, I
So
will buy a sentry, but he has a sentry right now. I saw it dying.
okay, so he's probably played against Tia and he understands.
Yeah.
Put this in the backpack and bring it back.
Well,
You,
the problem is that I picked it after he picked Jacker. Like,
mm. It's fine. You didn't expect it. Like you
yeah,
see, he's gonna to throw out dual breath. Just move back. You don't need to eat that damage. It's not really costing you too much, to be very honest with you. Like look at the mana. You've got full mana. You could have been casting meld this whole time, dodging
yeah,
all this shit. Not to mention like you, yeah, could have gotten some meld strike sideways. Like he's coming close. Like right here, you meld. You dodge that.
yeah.
You know he takes
I,
damage from these creeps. He took about 40 damage from the creeps.
it's just like I didn't know that's like disjointable.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Like, I don't think it helps you too much anyway because I've literally, I think my entire life. Okay, I've actually never had a TA game against Jakiro. I don't think I've ever had a TA game against Jakiro in a regular game. I've obviously played several times against Jakiro in 1v1 matchups, just,
Mhm.
the 1v1 games you play. And
Yeah,
that's why I know this shit. But nobody's gonna pick a Jakiro in mid.
yeah, yeah.
Also, like another thing that you can do here is if you are struggling a little bit, then what like right here, you don't need to be here. It's about to be 5 minutes. You just go
Yeah,
to
I could have
this.
stacked ancients.
Absolutely. What like even if this was a regular game, not against a Jakiro, you should have just gone and stacked the ancients anyway. 5 minutes, stack the
Mhm.
ancients. 7 minutes, stack the ancients. You're gonna
I
have phase
usually
boots or tread.
stack at 7 because like it's about the time like I get the threats.
Um, that's really slow tread timing. To be very honest with you, you should definitely pick up
Oh, really?
on your. Yeah, it's quite late. Sorry, did I say early?
You said late.
Yeah, it's quite late because you need to look to get treads at around um,
5?
about 5:30.
6?
Yeah, 5:30. Because like,
Okay.
look at that, you've got 50 minutes in, you've got 21 last hits. That's 50% farming
Okay.
efficiency. It's really
Yeah,
slow.
it's really bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
really bad.
it's
At this game, it
Jakiro.
is really bad. At this.
You can't even blame Jakiro because all he's been doing is just doing slow and steady damage to you. You've just not been farming. Like, even if you have the
Yep.
same skill build that you have and not dodge any of his stuff, just take slow and steady damage, it's not that much damage. All you've done so far is gone to the shrine once, and you're fine. You haven't tried to dodge his spells, you haven't played around it, you haven't moved back when he's about to cast, you haven't done anything, and yet he hasn't
You're
done
right.
that much damage to you that you should be afraid. And you've just not been farming. Like, look at that last day. You missed that last day. You could have popped refraction. He doesn't have liquid fire. You could
Yeah,
have popped
you're
refraction
right.
for things
You're,
like that. Also, keep in mind when you use refraction and when you have refraction on and you deny a creep, it doesn't actually
yeah.
take up refraction charges. So you should
Yeah.
always look to deny user. Wow, that was instant almost. That was very, very much instant. Okay. When I said Jakiro is not a counter to TA, what I meant is mid Jakiro isn't a counter to TA the way you would think. Of course, a support Jakiro is a counter, or Jakiro as a whole, because of obviously the fact that he takes off refraction. Just as a support hero, he can take refraction off so quickly, just like Venomancer. But
Yeah.
in mid, I honestly think Venomancer is so much more of a counter to TA than in mid than Jakiro is. I also think this Jakiro is pretty bad. I think he could have done so much more to make your life
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
he already won the lane already, in my opinion.
he only won the lane because if you look at
I'm
his
bad.
farm,
I didn't know
if
how
if
to
you
play against Jakiro.
the thing is, like, if you look at his farm, he's got 14. He's only got 11 CS. He didn't farm at all. He didn't push the lane. He has how much of the tower has he taken so far? Let's have a look. He
Not.
has not taken any. He's not
Yeah.
won the lane. He has not
Yeah.
won the lane. Okay, he's got 1,400 net worth. You've got
Oh.
almost double his net worth. Okay, so he has not won the lane, but he's done
when I
nothing.
usually play TA, I will be top of the network chart.
Yeah, but that's
what I
but
mean.
that's because you missed so much CS for no reason.
Yeah.
Because you even attempted for that CS, just because you were missing that CS, because you were having you just look at that, you're gonna miss that CS. Was it because of Jakiro? No, you mistimed that last hit. You're actually gonna get it now because you didn't deny. But you're missing you're missing these last hits. Also, Bloodseeker is a pretty decent counter to TA as well,
I
and
know.
Slark is a really great counter. This entire enemy lineup is a counter to TA, dude. I just realized that.
They can take off reflection really hard.
Did you pick TA first? Were you first pick?
I picked it third or second pick, something like that.
Because if you look at Bloodseeker ults you. That's it. You're
Yeah.
You're dead. You're pretty much dead. Slark pounces you. He will take your refraction off instantaneously. Yeah. You're dead. Jakiro has so many ways to take off your refraction, keep you stunned, put his ult on you. Ricky can silence you. I mean,
this wasn't a good,
Kristen
good
Maiden. No, it wasn't. It was one of the worst TA games imaginable.
Yeah, I was just feeling because of I won 2 games in a row. I wanted to spam.
Okay, let's analyze the game so far. Right, so far, you definitely could have.
I want to stick this and anti-mage fucking TPs.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Shit like this happens. But what are few of the things that you could have done in this game? First of all, you could have been a little bit more not active, but more awake when last hitting. You could have had a lot more last hit. You could have been stacking the jungle a little bit more. You said you wanted to stack it at 7 minutes. Well, it's 9 minutes, and this is the first time you attempted to stack. Second thing is, you could have had a TP on you all the time. Okay, Bloodseeker comes in comes and ulties you at around 5 to 6 minutes or 7 minutes, you just TP out. Of course, there's a Jakiro. That means you need to preemptively know if Bloodseeker is coming or not, which means you have a Sonic Trap over here, and maybe no Sonic Trap. You've got Sonic, yeah. Not either. You have a Sonic Trap over here, preferably a Sonic Trap like over here, or even like over here, and a Sonic Trap over here. This way, it'll cover every single way Bloodseeker can come from this direction, and then a Sonic Trap here. That's it. These 4 Sonic Traps, and then you have obviously a Sonic Trap over here and a Sonic Trap over here if you need to, or maybe just in mid. But you're not really gonna go for a kill, so it really doesn't matter. Who is this?
I usually put trap in the middle as well.
So like
in this game,
putting a trap in the middle isn't really helpful in this game because you're not really gonna go for the kill. But if you had a Sonic Trap over here, you would have seen not only Bloodseeker, but okay, I guess only Bloodseeker because CM just changed her direction. But you would have definitely seen Bloodseeker, and you would have gone away. So you wouldn't have died here.
All right.
So you definitely didn't prepare yourself. Second thing is you definitely should have been making phase boots in this game because you need to have a lot of mobility. Treads is great for manning up and fighting, but TA just doesn't man up and fight. I think Treads is, you make Treads when you get to 6K. Okay, don't need to make Treads right now. Just stick with phase boots. Phase boots, and in this game, honestly, instead of making a Desolator first, which is gonna sound really crazy in Desolator and Blink, you should have made Force Staff first.
Oh, you're
yeah,
you
like
right.
It's like very unconventional again, but
it makes sense. Making I see you.
Yeah, by making Force Staff, Ricky's you completely don't need to worry about Ricky. You don't need to worry about if you CM as well. If you place Sonic Traps properly, you don't need to worry about Bloodseeker. If you have Force Staff and Sonic Traps, again, well, just Force Staff, you don't need to worry about CM. As far as this guy goes, as well. What are the things that he can do? If you are close to him, he can Liquid Fire and Dual Breath. You don't really need to be close to him because you're going to be farming. Because especially if you go Force Staff, that means you desperately need Desolator as quickly as possible. So you're farming most of the time. So the only people who you should be afraid of are Ricky and Bloodseeker, really. And this guy can throw Ice Path. If he's about to throw Ice Path, you Force Staff away, you save yourself.
I can dodge it,
yeah. So at the end of the day, the only person you need to be worried about until I don't know, 25 minutes, just Slark, really. Just Slark. As we said, like Bloodseeker, you when you're farming, you keep Sonic Traps in such a way that Bloodseeker, you will see him coming, and and once you get to late game or mid game, once you have Desolator, then you wait for Bloodseeker to ult, and then you go in. Now, Force Staff isn't unconventional on TA. It's just first item is unconventional because you make a Hurricane Pike. Very, very commonly. So the only thing is like it will the going Force Staff first is going to delay your timing window quite a lot, but it does also mean that it will prevent you from dying. So that's your win scenario, right?
I see you. Yeah, I see you.
You still might not win the game, but what you have to do is try new things, try different things. Maybe this time you do these things and you're like, okay, maybe going Force Staff first item didn't help out too much. Maybe still going Desolator first would have helped out better. So that's it. You learned a great thing. Like, okay, if I see Ricky, still go Desolator. Doesn't matter. Maybe I can just TP out immediately, or I don't know. I don't know. Depends on your MMR. Depends on your playstyle. Depends on the situation. Depends on how much warding you have. Depends on your own teammates. There's a anti-mage in your team, so most of the time the enemy team is going to be focusing anti-mage, so you might actually get away with going for a regular build. Ricky might not actually gank you. It looks like in this game, Ricky's actually like just stick. Ricky never came to your. You never saw. You have never seen Ricky so far.
He came once or twice.
Okay, I didn't really notice, so my bad. But Ricky didn't really kill you or be a problem at all,
So he didn't, he didn't.
So you really don't need to rush force staff in this game, to be perfectly honest. But I definitely think rushing Blink in this game before Desolator is still the better option. Like you saw Slark,
Yeah, I thought about it.
you saw Slark. What you should have done is immediately, instead of farming here, you should have gone around in this direction. Two things happen. First of all, if you're farming jungle and he decides to come into the jungle, you will die. So by going around in
Hmm.
this direction, you go close to your teammates. So that possibility is out of the question. Second thing is, if he is coming this way, he's going to engage your teammates. That means you can turn that into a 3v1 situation, and you can actually kill Slark. And even if you
Uh,
don't kill Slark, your ally
is
doesn't die.
he alone there? I
Yeah,
thought
he's
like he
completely
wasn't
alone.
alone.
He's
No.
completely alone. He's absolutely alone. He just got
Or
a
I
Shadow
didn't
Blade and got a
saw
kill.
it.
He just got a 12-minute Shadow Blade and got a kill. Also, like when you see a 12-minute Shadow Blade, Ricky, you know, it's kind of like it doesn't really matter what you do in that. Oh, I think it's a brown bull Shadow Blade. Yeah, it is brown bull. So it's not too bad. You guys can easily kill him, to be honest. But you need to keep it TP, and you need to have wards, and you need to be vigilant. Like you
But
see that guy, but you don't TP. You don't even have a TP.
yeah, I like usually buy TP at like 4 or 5 minutes. Like, but this
Mm.
game I didn't buy it because like I was so behind that even fighting under tower I can die in under tower.
I completely agree with you, and I'm okay with you not buying a TP. That's completely fine. I'm very happy with what you just said.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's all
Like,
fine.
but I should have bought it in case of Bloodseeker ganks me anyway.
Oh yeah, that's
I
no.
think.
What I mean is like what I'm happy with is that you don't want a TP, but I'm not happy with you not having a TP. You definitely
Yeah.
need a TP
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I see you. I understand like why I should have
Mm.
TP.
So like the kill score is 12-2. So I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's a lot you could have done, but I don't think you win this game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
that's what I mean.
I
Like
just
we can
farm.
end. Yeah, like despite the enemy team having five
And
counters to
like
you, you've only died once. You've actually died once and got one kill. So at the end of the day, your game didn't actually go so poorly.
like we killed like Bloodseeker Ricky Slark like twice or 3 times. Like
Mm,
we got too much money, but we didn't have 0 wars. Like we had 0 wars.
mm,
I bought the
yeah.
wars, like only wars that I bought. Then what happened is that they just cut us one by one
Mm.
and win the game easily. Like,
Yeah, obviously. I mean,
we come back at like 25 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that.
I mean, this is one of the biggest reasons why you should definitely look to play Invis heroes. Slark is a fantastic one. Ricky's another one. Like look at this. Yeah, there's two Invis heroes in this team. There's no Invis heroes. You're not really an Invis hero. There's
Yeah.
no Invis heroes in this team, and this team won by a landslide. Like that's literally the definition of your bracket, dude. Honestly, that's like that is
Yeah,
exactly what's
look
gonna
at Paj's
happen.
items. Look at Paj's.
Oh my god, look at it. This team didn't like. This is the team which had two Invis heroes and they bought 18 sentries.
Yep,
Whereas this
That
team, like 19
they
actually. And
like
this team,
I bought 5 sentries. You see that? Like
yeah, but it's
he
probably too late in the
he
game, to be honest.
he devoured all of them.
Yeah, I like clearly he did. He had so many sentries. But the thing is, like, by the time you bought sentries, game was game was over at the 20 minutes when we were looking at it. And this is 27 minutes, 26 minutes in is when you've died 5 times. The anti-mage has
Yeah.
died 5 times. This guy is literally feeding, and this guy's but
Just get Paj's items.
it's
That's
like
my
there's no
summary.
point getting sentries. This is the time to just sit in base and play Clash Royale on your phone or something like that. There's no point.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah.